Hello, welcome to Exotic Gardening with me, Yorkshire Kris. On this week's episode, we're going to look at some surprises around the garden, including a plant that I don't know what it is, so I'll need your help identifying it and looking at plants that are amazingly tender but have got through winter. Here in these pots, along with the violas, pansies, we've got these little things, these little seedlings that have appeared all over this pot. There's some at the back as well. And these, believe it or not, are canna seeds that have just germinated and are just growing away in this pot. So it's obviously warm enough for these to germinate and to start growing. Got various ones coming up in this pot, but the main plant that we had in that pot has not quite started growing yet. But these seedlings have already had a nice bit of warm weather in this sunny position and already unfurling their first leaves of the season. Now already the tetrapanax leaves are unfurling and getting quite big. We've got many of these suckers in the front garden where the leaves are already 30 centimetres across, something like that. But I don't want all these suckers, I'm going to be cutting all these down. There's several, there's one here, there's a further one there, there's more over there under the yucca, and further around near the phoenix palm, so they'll be just cut down to the ground and thrown away, because we've got the main plants over behind the bamboos growing tall as a Trachycarpus, about 3 meters tall, near the pavement. But we don't need these suckers, although they do look very nice with these big leaves that have not been frosted at all. Now this aloe polyphylla has survived all winter in this large pot by the side of the house, had a shelter over it in the worst of the weather. It's been down to -6 in January, but it's been completely unblemished, and it's a very small plant this. It's only, about 15 centimetres across at most, probably closer to 10, and it's doing really well. As is always the case, very early every spring we get the Persicaria red dragon coming through, and it covers a large area around my Trachycarpus nova. And if I just zoom out, you can see the sunlight hitting it there. Got it growing partially in the shade here, but it's mainly in full sun, and this will cover this area, and I have to cut it back several times throughout the season in order to keep it under control and to keep the wonderful deep coloration on the leaves as well, which looks really exotic, although it is a very hardy plant, but it doesn't like the late frost, so hopefully this won't get frosted back. If it does, it will just keep regrowing after just a few days, as the temperatures are nice and warm now as we go through spring. I'm really pleased with the tulips that I planted a couple of years ago that I put in the Arid bed, because at this time of year it just injects some nice spring colour. Got yellows, and we've got the oranges and reds throughout the garden. But in the Arid bed you can see with the Drosera and also the agaves and yuccas, they just look so nice, eye-popping colour at this time of year. Nice contrast to the big architectural shapes of these big plants. I've got the cacti puntia there as well. And as we just look up, I've got the big Chimerops that's over, well over 2 meters tall now. So this area of the garden now, the shelter is off all the agaves. Let me just zoom out so you can see everything a bit clearer. Now the shelter's off. It's looking ready for summer, and with that sunshine it's already soaking up, and hopefully it'll be a nice, good, long growing season for these arid plants. And because we've had hardly any rain the last month or so, these plants don't mind at all. It's been helping them dry out from the winter wet, and hopefully they'll just continue to grow throughout the summer months when we get some proper heat. Now, because we had -6 and we've had lots of snow and things like that, decent winter, my Echium is just holding on. And this is year 3. This one got through last year when I had some nice big Echiums that died last winter, previous winter, and then this winter we just had. This one just about made it. Mostly it looks very tatty, but we've got this head here, and it should flower, but it's 3 years old now. But it's not looking great. But you know, with the weather we've had over winter, we had some decent cold temperatures and snow, It's remarkable actually it's got through without any protection. So if it flowers, great. If it doesn't, I'll just try it again from seed, and hopefully one day I'll get some flowering Echiums in my garden. Now if we look down here, it's a bit shady at the moment as we're later on in the day, but normally this is a decent amount of sun. It's a gravelly area, but it has some decent soil underneath this particular part of the garden. And those little pinkish reddish stubs you can see, they're Colocasia pink chinas getting ready to get into growth. So we've got various growth points, we've got several over here, several over there. You can see where they've tried to run as well last summer across the surface, and it won't be long until these are in growth. Now I assume in the next 2 weeks we'll have the first proper leaves, and providing there's no frosts or hardly any frosts in May, then these will just get bigger and bigger, and I'll start feeding these as soon as I see some proper growth on these plants. And these are the hardiest, by far the hardiest, easiest, most reliable colocasias that you can grow in the UK. Come back every year, had these 15 years now, dotted about the garden, but in this particular spot they seem to do really, really well. Another sign of spring is frog spawn in the pond, and there's lots and lots of frog spawn here. So hopefully we'll get lots of tadpoles and then more returning frogs in the years to come. Now here's one plant that's not made it through winter, which is a big shame because it had high hopes for this pretty rare hybrid palm. This is Butia Aries spatha crossed with Sagras Romanzophiana Santa Catarina. Bit of a mouthful, but this plant should have been good in my location, but unfortunately it's not made it through the winter. So it spear pulled last year, didn't really recover, and then it's gone brown over this winter, where I said the lowest temperature was -6. We had some decent cold weather, but we didn't have an absolutely awful winter, so it's a shame it's not made it. Other bootias in the garden have been completely unaffected, so it does show that not all bootias have the same hardiness. Species does matter. Obviously size matters as well, but unfortunately this one's not made it. And I won't be growing a bootia in this part of the garden again, because this is the second or third species to fail in this particular part of the garden. For whatever reason, doesn't like it here. But my Aries spathas and odoratas and other parts are doing much, much better. So I'll be digging this up, and we'll be thinking what we're going to do with this part of the garden later in the year. Now here we have another plant that should have really not made it through the winter at all. I mean, you can hardly see it here between the bamboo leaves, but down here you can see there's a bit of green growth, and up here as well. And this, believe it or not, is a plectranthus. It's been completely unprotected by me. Obviously the bamboo leaves have helped over winter, but this plectranthus, a bedding plant or a house plant for some people, has got through winter, and I'm sure this will grow away nicely now. It's in a couple of plants here. This is like a stem that's moved from this main plant, and then it's rooted at this point and it's growing new buds. So amazingly, this properly tender plant has got through winter where other hardier plants haven't quite made it. So it'd be great to see this grow well this year. Got some beautiful pleated leaves here. This is a plant I totally forgot I planted, and it's doing really, really well. And it's very dry here. Like I said, it's not rained for absolutely ages. Probably might give this a water actually, but it's looking nice with these pleated leaves in this location. Behind it, you can probably see you've actually got the bamboos shooting already to the centre left of frame there. That's Philostachus iridescens. That's a big, vigorous bamboo. And another surprising plant that's made it through winter, I have mentioned it before, but it's still alive after many, many frosts and covered in snow, is this plant here, this Trachycarpus Maiden's Blush, that has made it through winter. So unbelievable that this has come through in leaf. It comes back normally from the ground in sort of mild winters and mild areas of the country, but here it's actually stayed in leaf in various places. Fantastic to see. And here we have a Trachycarpus nova with its big fan-shaped leaves. Why I'm talking about this right now is another sign of spring. And these are flowers. So we've got flowers here and further up the trunk as well. The Trachycarpus are starting to think about flowering. And I'd like to know if they're flowering in your garden already. This seems quite early for this one. It's got many flowers appearing around the side as well and further up. So are your Trachycarpus in flower bud yet, or have you actually got open flowers yet? Let me know in the comments below. And obviously different species at different timings, male and females have different timings. But this is the earliest I think I've had this nova flowering. Now this is the mystery plant that I need help with identifying. First of all, I thought it was a parasite coming out of my bamboo, but if we get closer in, you can see it's this long, slender stem, and we've got leaves, I believe, coming out here. And it's quite wiry, you can see it coming down there. It looks like it's going into the bamboo. Go down to the ground, you can see we've got 3 or 4 stems coming out of the ground. This one again is coming over here. Just an unusual thing, I didn't plant it, I don't know where it's come from. So what do you think it is? Thank you for watching this edition of Exotic Gardening with me, Yorkshire Kris. Join me next week where I'll be doing more in the garden.